In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to turn your ebook into an audiobook in 3 stupid simple steps. Now, if you know who Christian and I are, we're the Mickelson twins, and we specialize, so to speak, in audiobook publishing. Is what we've been doing for 3 years. It has completely changed our lives. We've been able to travel the world, which, let me just show you where I am right now. I'm without Christian, by the way. He's in Toronto, while I am in a way better place than him. I'm in Hawaii. Look at that view. If you've ever published an ebook, but you do not have an audiobook version of that book, this is the exact video for you. This may be the video that you need to watch that you didn't know you needed to watch because you didn't even know about it. Now, if you don't have an audiobook version of your ebook, I have a piece of bad news, but I also have a piece of good news for you. Now, I'll start with the bad news. The bad news is that you have been missing out and leaving money on the table since your ebook was published, because it could have been published as an audiobook as well, which in today's day and age, in 2019, with the popularity of audiobooks, that is a book that could be making you much more money than what your current ebook is making now. Although the good news is that I'm going to show you how to turn your ebook into an audiobook so you can add an extra stream of income to your life, because who does not want to have more streams of income? So I've broken it down into 3 stupid simple steps, because that's all it takes. Now, I've made a little PowerPoint presentation just breaking it down super easily. I'm gonna go into the computer and look at that now. All right, let's get into it. How to turn your ebook into an audiobook in 3 stupid simple steps. Now, before I show you step 1, just want to do a quick shout out to ourselves. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are the Mickelson twins. We have a YouTube channel. We talk all about book publishing. One of the few book publishing channels on YouTube. We also talk all about entrepreneurship, lifestyle, and travel. You can see the kind of life that publishing has created for us, to the point where we've traveled to 20 plus countries over the last year. We've been doing this for about 2 years now. Like the video while you're at it, because that doesn't hurt either. So let's get into what is step 1 of turning your ebook into an audiobook. The first thing you have to do is you have to get a new cover created for your book. Now, unlike a typical ebook cover, an audiobook cover must have the dimensions of a square that is 2,400 pixels by 2,400 pixels. The only reason why you need a new cover is to accommodate for this change in size. Now, just so you can get a clear picture of what I'm talking about, here we have 2 book covers. On the left side is the ebook version of that cover, and the right side is the audiobook version, which is a square. Now, I know you may be thinking one way of doing this is that you could just go into some editing software, take your cover and just stretch it out so that it becomes a square. Please never do this, because I'll show you. I'll put an example up on the screen right now. You can just tell that it's stretched and it looks low quality, and this will turn people off when they are considering buying your audiobook. So instead, I suggest that you go to Fiverr. Let's go there right now. Fiverr.com. Just search book cover design. You'll now come to a page where you can choose between hundreds of different people that do book cover design. You can honestly choose whoever you want. Everyone is good enough to do the job of just turning your ebook cover into an audiobook cover. I suggest just going for a cheap one, $5 for example. What you're going to do is click continue here, make an order with them for just $5, send them your ebook cover and say you just need this cover converted into an audiobook format, 2400 pixels by 2400 pixels. And within 1 to 2 days, they will have it delivered for you, and you have your brand new audiobook cover. It's literally that simple. Now let's get back into the PowerPoint. Once you have your brand new book cover, you want to open a account with ACX. So if you don't know what ACX is the equivalent of KDP for audiobooks. So on KDP, you're publishing your book and will then be published to the Amazon Kindle store. When it comes to ACX, you will publish your audiobook to ACX and will then be published to audible.com, which is essentially the Kindle store for audiobooks. It's also an Amazon company. So I'm going to show you quickly how to open an ACX account, but I won't spend too much time on it because it's super simple. Go to acx.com. This is the ACX homepage. Just go up here in the corner and click sign up now. Since you have already published an ebook, that probably also means that you have a KDP account. Now, since KDP and ACX are both companies under Amazon, because you have a KDP account, your ACX account will actually already have been created. So all you need to do is log in here with your KDP login details, email and password, sign in, and you will then be prompted with sign up questions such as address, bank account info, tax ID, all the typical stuff, the same information that you already had to include when signing up for a KDP account. Now we're 2/3 of the way there. We created our book cover, and we now have an ACX account to begin publishing our audiobook. Now the next step, of course, is, let's get back into the slides. The next step is to hire a narrator for your audiobook, and this all happens on acx.com. And when it comes to audiobook publishing, ACX, it's the biggest, best website for it, and it's the only thing you ever need. And I'm very impressed by the way they've built their website, because they've made it so freaking easy, the entire process, which is why audiobook publishing now is so easy and accessible for everyone, because on acx.com you can find thousands of narrators to narrate your audiobook for you. First, let's log in and I'll show you exactly how. So we're now inside of the ACX dashboard, but before we can begin searching for a narrator to narrate our audiobook for us, first we have to claim our book inside of ACX. So if it is published, our book is published on Amazon, and you search it in here. I'm just gonna pick a random book in this case, just gonna say puppy training. Now let's say all of these books have already been published as audiobooks, which is why they're not an option. But let's say this is our book. It's available as an ebook, and we want to turn it into an audiobook. Then we click "This is my book," and we are given two options here. I'm looking for someone to narrate and produce my audiobook, or I already have audio files for this book and I want to sell it. So in this case, we want someone to narrate for us. We'll choose this option, click continue. Now again, this is not actually my book, so I'm not going to sign this contract saying it is. Next up, you're just going to be given a few simple questions about your book, just asking about some details. Now I would show you if I could, but this isn't actually my book. That part is very self-explanatory. So after you have claimed your book, you're then ready to find a narrator to narrate your audiobook for you. So to do that, you're just going to click this button here, search, and then producers for hire. You'll now be brought to a page where there are 94,256 audiobook samples to choose from. Now here on the left side are a bunch of options to filter through, because you may have a particular voice or type of narrator that you're looking for. The first one that I suggest choosing is compensation. Here you can sort narrators by price that you would have to pay them. So it is sorted by PFH, which stands for per finished hour. This is the amount of money that you're willing to pay for 1 hour of narrated audiobook. So a good price for me, where I feel like I can still find a high quality narrator, is $50 per hour. So I'll choose this option, $50 to $100 per finished hour. Apply that. Now it's gone down to 9,700 different narrators to choose from, but that's still thousands to choose from. Let's narrow it down a little bit more. Voice age, let's go middle-aged. I want a middle-aged man, so I'm gonna choose gender, male. And ACX has now given me all of the narrators that are willing to work for between $50 and $100 per finished hour. They are middle-aged and they are a man. So if this is the type of narrator I'm looking for, I would just use the filter here on the left side and browse through all of these options. There are 24 pages. Next step is just to start listening to all these samples here until I find someone that I really like and I feel like is the right fit to narrate my audiobook. So let's see if we can just listen to a few, see what they sound like.
It surprised him how loudly a man could scream, though the cells were deep underground below a windowless and...
He's alright, I'm not inspired to use him though.
From my youngest days, I always had the feeling that we were all involved in some great...
I was gonna say that's a lot better, but I realized it's actually the exact same guy. So let's move over here to Michael Heward.
Introduction.
Ew, no, I don't want to use him. Sounds old.
By doing programs is between 2 and 4 hours long and focuses on application of skills in simulations that represent real life.
So he's got a strong British accent. Sounds very professional. Let's say he is the guy that I want to narrate my audiobook. Then I would click on his name here and click send message, and very simple audiobook narration. For you can type whatever you want for the subject. So here's the type of message that I would send to Mr. Jones. It would be, hey Mr. Jones, I love your voice and I think you'd be the perfect fit for my book called The 30-Day Guide to Puppet Training. I just made that up. My price is $75 per finished hour. If you're interested in narrating my book, please send an audition and we can get started. Thanks a lot. So the way it works is that he has to first send an audition for your audiobook, and from there you can then send an offer of $75 if that's your price. Then he can accept, and then he can start narrating your audiobook. Also, I want to make this clear in terms of price. $75 per finished hour. The length of audiobooks that we like to publish is 3-hour audiobooks. Now, a 3-hour audiobook equates to about 30,000 words. So for the books that we typically publish, the price to have the audiobook narrated is about $200, give or take about $200 per audiobook. Now, I would just send this message if I wanted to work with Mr. Jones. He would then make an audition for the audiobook if I like it. I can send him an offer, like I said before. Then once the narrator accepts your offer to narrate your audiobook, they can then begin narrating. So next, what you have to do is send them your manuscript for your entire book. They'll get that, they'll narrate the entire book, upload the audio files inside of acx.com, and then once they are finished, after about 2 weeks later, I think that's a good time frame to give them. After about 2 weeks later, you'll get an email once they finish. You can then go inside and review all of the audio files of the audiobook. If you are happy and satisfied with how the audiobook sounds, you then click approve inside of acx.com. Then ACX will do their own review of the entire audiobook. If it complies to all of their audio requirements, the book will then be out and released and selling on audible.com about 2 weeks later. And that's it. That's all you have to do to turn your ebook into an audiobook in 3 stupid, simple steps. Because 90% of the work is already done when you have the ebook, and that is the writing of the book. All you have to do is turn that into an audiobook, and you don't even do that yourself. You hire someone else to do that for you. So this is a super simple process, and for every single book you ever choose to write and publish, you have to turn it into an audiobook. You are leaving money on the table and exposure on the table for your audiobooks, because the majority of the world at this point listens to audiobooks instead of reading ebooks. So remember, always turn your ebook into an audiobook. That wraps up this video. If you feel like you learned anything, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, share this video with anyone else that you know that has an ebook but has not turned into an audiobook yet. Show them this video. They will be very grateful, and it would be very nice of you to do. Let's finish it off just with a little view of the city of Honolulu in Hawaii. See you guys in the next video. Peace out. See ya.